Guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about my Steam Deck, my overall experience with it, my process of getting the Steam Deck, because that was a pain in the ass, and also what I'm doing with it so far. So, we'll start from the beginning. I ordered the Steam Deck. It is a 64 gig version. This was £249, and I should have really got the next step up, which was the 256 gig, which is about 30-40 quid more. But in my rush and idiotic ways of buying this item, I just completely missed the fact that there was the 256 version in stock. So I ordered the 64 gig. It came. I now have a 512 gig card in there as well as the 64 gig in there. It's more than enough for what I have in here at the moment. I've got about nearly 20 odd games that's actually on the system that I play. So definitely there is enough room on the system just with that. So getting the Steam Deck itself, I ordered it. It came in the UK. It comes from, I think it's Norway or that sort of way, or Denmark, one of those. And effectively what happened was it came into the UK. It said it was delivered. It was not delivered. Then I contacted Steam as per the delivery company's recommendation, and Steam basically said, tough, it says it's been delivered, there's nothing we can do. So then I raised it as a PayPal dispute, and within 24 hours, Steam said, oh, send us your information, and we'll send you a replacement. So I got my replacement. And so, we'll go into the actual Steam Deck itself. So the Steam Deck itself, as I say, I got the 64 gig version. You can see the card stuck out there. And my biggest gripe with the Steam Deck itself are these things. Because when you're in desktop mode, they're not the best things to be using at all. If I ever plan on going into desktop mode for certain things, like setting up Pokemon Infinite Fusions, because this is a little bit of a pain in the ass to set up on the Steam Deck. I try and avoid these as best as possible. I have my little dock that I have attached to the back of the case, sat in the back of the case, which is just here, which I'll use to hook up like just a mouse or the telly or pretty much anything. And this does the same thing as a normal Steam Deck dock, and it cost me about a tenner. So yeah, so the Steam Deck itself is really, really cool for what you play. I've got Horizon. I've not actually played it at all yet because I've been playing other things like Crab Champions and Pokemon Infinite Fusions and many other games that are further down the list here. But I'm really, really enjoying playing the Steam Deck on here. You can fit loads and loads of stuff on here and play games that I obviously already have on other systems, but you can also play a lot of games that I have never touched, like Helldivers 2, or Horizon Zero Dawn, or Crab Champions, or BlazBlue Entropy Effect, or there's this Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and Starship Troopers. There's definitely things on here, and obviously, as you can see, I've got 18 games listed there just on Steam versions of them, and then I've got non-Steam games that are here where it doesn't track anything, but these are games that I have installed that I play, like Chivalry 2. Chivalry 2 is crazy fun, and it was just free. It was free from Prime Games. Same with that Ape Out as well. Play those two games quite a lot. Caladrius as well. Raiden Legacy as well. And you do it all through the Heroic Games launcher. And on top of that, you can play your cloud gaming on here as well if you've got an Xbox cloud gaming account. Well, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate account. So, in my experience of the Steam Deck itself, as I say, it's a really, really good system. This is the only issue. These touchpads are a huge issue. And in certain situations, when you're in desktop mode, you'll launch a game because you want to test it once you've installed it, say through the whole Heroic Games launcher as an example, and you cannot get out of the full screen mode. The game will automatically kick into full screen mode, and once you quit out, the screen will go black, and it will just remain black forever until you've manually turned your system off by holding the power button like 10 seconds. So that happens way too often with this. And maybe it's a Linux thing, because I know this is based on Linux. but I don't know anything about Linux personally, but like you can just go straight into desktop mode here. You go straight into power, and then switch to desktop mode. And like desktop mode is, it is a desktop, it is what it is. It does what it does. Everything, all the good stuff. So as you can see, it transforms into a desktop, and then you would plug it into a monitor, and you would get playing, and you can return to gaming mode straight there, and it's really, really easy. I have this kind of lockdown with a password that pops up. Is part of it, it's part of the system itself that you can do. So you already have it set up so that I can't, nobody can just come in and start setting stuff up, but you can just use your finger. But again, like this is not the best. You can see it's grabbing things when all I'm doing is this. So you can see I'm not really doing anything other than rotating my finger, and it is just grabbing things. Same with this as well. The touchpads are awful. I don't know whether that's different on the OLED version, because this is obviously the LCD version. You can probably tell looking at it, maybe not. But again, like I say, we'll go back to gaming version. The games run really, really well. There's only one game where I've had a bit of an iffy fit with it. And yes, I'm aware that my screen protector is falling off a little bit. I need a new one going on. I've only had one game where it's been kind of like, it'll run, but it's not great. And I think that initially would have been Helldivers 2, but after a bit of fiddling, I'm now between 30 and 40 frames a second. Perfectly playable, perfectly legible, really, really works really, really well. The only one that I have an issue with, I think it would have been Starship Troopers. Actually, Starship Troopers, I really enjoy playing it, but when you get to the back end of the game, so it runs about 30 frames per second, and on like medium settings. But when you get to the back end of the game, each stage, you have to build to protect yourself from the bugs coming in, with like 15 other players, and there's like 15 other people running around, and the game cannot cope with that. So you end up dropping into the low teens. I think the lowest I saw was about 11 frames a second when all the bugs came in at the same time as these people running around. And I fiddled with the settings, same as I did with Helldivers. And I've managed to get it a bit more stable, but it's not fantastic. It really needs some optimizing in the game. Now, it does say unsupported as one of the game listings, but it's still playable, I would class it as. It's not completely playable, but considering you're playing on a handheld rather than a physical console, an actual console or a PC, it is quite impressive that you're able to do that. So it's still one of those things. The reason why that's there is because I've not actually added it to my library yet. It was 99p, got it for free. So basically got it for free. So I'll download it at some point. So as I say, video game wise, it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. As a desktop, kind of iffy. I wouldn't recommend using a Steam Deck as your main system at all. It is a gaming system at the end of the day. It is designed to be a console, with the perks of being a PC, essentially. Now, with the perks of being a PC, you do obviously have a lot of stuff that you obviously have from other places. Like, you'll have PlayStation games, you'll have Xbox games, you'll have all sorts of games that would have been on the other systems that are on here as well. And that enables you to just do whatever. So I'm able to buy like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is on offer at the moment for $5.99. I already have that on the Xbox, but I might buy that because this is a portable version for me, even though the Vita already has it, but it's not going to be the same as this because it's a PC version. And that may actually enable me to add in mods and things like that, which you can do on the Steam Deck. But you obviously have to do it through the desktop mode. However, as I say, the Steam Deck itself is really, really good. The case that I have is really nice as well, and it has issues. Of course, it does, but it's the best one on the market, I think, for the price that you're getting. For the price, the power to price, whatever they call it, this is the best handheld that you can get. The ROG Ally is really good, but it has its hiccups, like spitting out your SD card when it gets too hot. And it also has other issues as well, and it doesn't run certain games. But this can run pretty much everything. If you want to try it, throw it at the Steam Deck and it's going to run it, more than likely. Is it going to run it at like 60 to 90 or 120 frames per second? Absolutely not. But this is still going to run it at 30, maybe 60 frames on certain games. You can get Elden Ring as an example. I've seen people get that up to about 50 frames a second. So I really am not surprised. I mean, Ape Out as an example, yes, it's not a taxing game on the system. It runs at 60 frames per second perfectly on here. Plug it into a monitor that is capable of higher frame rates. It can get up to 120 frames a second out of this thing. So that gives you a rough idea. It's not the most taxing game on it, but it can get it up there. Same with Overwatch actually as well. Overwatch I actually have running on like medium-ish settings, and I can get that up to 60 frames a second just on the Steam Deck itself. Then plugged into an external monitor or a television, runs comfortably at 60 frames a second as well, even though it's going to be pushing more onto the processor and everything like that. So I would definitely recommend anybody to get a Steam Deck, really, because if you don't have a PC, like I don't have a PC, I don't have the room for a PC, I don't have the money for a gaming laptop, a Steam Deck is a really good middleman in between. And there's a large community behind it. I wouldn't have been able to get Pokemon Infinite Fusions on here without the community, and I wouldn't have been able to get a lot of this stuff on here without the community. So I would highly recommend it and join in the community side of things, because you can get a lot of stuff. There's a lot of other stuff that I still want to put on here, like these sorts of games that I'm not able to play because they're on PC, and my PC, it's a Surface Pro. You know, my laptop is a Surface Pro. I chose form over function. Form over function. I say it's still really good for what I want it to do, but it's definitely not a Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a lot more powerful than my laptop. So take it as it is. I would highly recommend one. And I would definitely say to check it out, at least if you know someone who's got one. So anyway, guys, that was my experience. My experience getting a Steam Deck. Thankfully, I have one in my hands. And I will be playing it for a long time until eventually I get bored of it. I doubt I'll get bored of it, though, because I'm just going to keep throwing things at it, whatever comes out, and try it, and then go from there. Because as long as there's games out there, there will be games that I will be willing to try on the Steam Deck itself. There's always free games that are coming out on Prime, and there's always free games that come out on Epic as well. And I'm able to just buy them or get them for free and just throw them at the Steam Deck. And if they don't work, because they're free, it doesn't really matter. As an example, there's Tomb Raider that was part of it as well. It was a free game. And Tomb Raider works perfectly, 60 frames a second. I really didn't expect Tomb Raider to run that smoothly. I know it's classed as like an Xbox 360 game, but it was a last ditch of the 360 era. So I really didn't expect it to run that well. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks a lot for watching, and keep an eye out for any other videos that I may post, because I'm really enjoying playing Pokemon Infinite Fusions at the moment, and it was very tricky to get it on the system because of the way that you have to do it. But I may have a look at doing a little bit of a breakdown of how you do it. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you later. Bye.